I'm not happy with what I'm seeing. 12 points from a possible 27 points. I think the squad, I don't think Pochettino's getting the best out of the squad. I think he's infected us with his Tottenham loser mentality.
I haven't seen one performance this season that I could say that, yeah, we looked absolutely brilliant. We've looked good at times, but we haven't looked...
No, but I can't lie though. I think the Euros is going to be kind of sick.
I think the last couple. I think it will be entertaining. Yeah, I think if you look at those compared to the, what was the last one? What was that? Was that the one where Italy and England got to the final?
Yeah, that was a bit dead.
Yeah, you know me. I never want England to win anything, but yeah, yeah. I mean, what Jay put in the group is very interesting. But I think a lot of teams look good on paper, but when it comes down to it, you know, I think a lot of managers struggle with the pool of talent. It's like, yeah, I think you might be surprised about it'll be a team that don't have that much talent will probably go far. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's possible.
Unless it's the experience on like your France's where Deschamps has been in there for, you know, decades. So, you know,
they're just too stacked. So they're just too stacked.
Yeah. Well,
like that France team is just it's actually unfair how stacked that France team is. But
they've got so much in so many different areas, ain't they?
It's ridiculous. Yeah. But my dark horses is Portugal. I would be betting on Portugal.
Why?
Because I think Martinez is underrated. I think he's got them clicking. I think Ronaldo is hungry to prove a point. I think this time next year he's still going to be banging in goals. And I just think they're so stacked. I mean, Rafael Leao, Jota, Ronaldo, João Felix, Bernardo Silva, Bruno Fernandes, João Cancelo, Ruben Diaz, Mendes. They're just stacked, man. Like, and I think Martinez will have them playing some fluid football.
One thing about Martinez, you're right. He probably will have them playing fluid football, but for me, you had a generation which they called the golden generation at Belgium. You had possibly two of the best players in the world in De Bruyne and in Eden Hazard, and Lukaku at one stage was still up there with some of the best strikers in the world. And what did he do?
Yeah.
What did he do? So I hear you with the Portugal stuff, but I don't know. It's yet to be seen. I don't think he's been unlucky. I don't think unlucky's been a word. I wouldn't say unlucky because he's had talent there. He's had two of the best players in the world in your team. And not in compromising positions either, by the way. It's not like Hazard's compromising De Bruyne's position or De Bruyne is compromising Lukaku's position. You've had three of the best players in the world in one team and you've done nothing. I mean, when you beat us in the Euros, what was that? 2000 and what? When Hazard left?
What, the UEFA Cup, you mean?
Yeah, the Europa Cup. When Hazard's last season.
Yeah.
What year was that?
I can't remember what year it was, but I think it might be 18 or 19, yeah.
18. So if that's 18, that's definitely that's the Euros year. Because World Cup was 2020, right? Oh no, World Cup
2018.
2021.
2018. It was 2020, it was 2018 that one they should have won.
Come on, bro.
But
anyway,
look who they lost to.
Who did they lose to?
France.
What was that in the final?
In the semi-finals.
The semis.
So, the semis. They got to the semi-finals and lost to France. And that's not.
Come on, you got to deliver, big man. You got to deliver, bro.
But wait, who did France go and beat? Argentina in the world. Go and beat Argentina. So if like, it's a bit harsh if you ask me for it to be like they should have got it done.
Well, it's either you got to put up, but anyway, we agree to disagree. You know, it's one of them ones, isn't it?
Yeah, for real. But onto the to the topics. So reaction to the weekend. We'll start with you, Jay, and your Man United boys. How do you feel about 10 fags?
when we can clearly see how you feel about it, Barry.
I think he's a fraud.
yeah, he's a fraud. Lucky performance. Obviously, bad time for the club with Bobby Charlton and that.
Yeah. Condolences to the family of Bobby Charlton.
Kind of bad time for that at the moment. But in terms of the performance itself, not happy with it, if I'm honest. I'm struggling to see the identity of the team a little bit in a sense of the way we play. So I can appreciate that we've got quite a large injury list, but I don't want to divert. We've got a really good squad of players.
You think so? You think you got a good squad?
I do. I think we got a good squad of players. I think the manager has changed tactics this season, and he's actually left Casemiro as like the singular DM. And I don't think he can cover that space that he's been asked to cover. That's if you ask me. I think he's changed it all, and it's not working. And the thing is, Ten Hag's not going back to basics. He's just continuing to try and dominate the opponent when we clearly can't do that at the moment.
He's a stubborn guy, isn't he?
Yeah, but in terms of the game, we played again. We played all right. We had the most chances. Thought Højlund looked lively. We still haven't worked out how to put him in and play to his strengths, which is quite annoying because we've got two wingers that are relatively selfish on the ball. Anthony, you don't know when he's going to release it. You don't know what he's going to attempt to do, and he loves that left foot shot like he ain't got nothing else to do, which is quite annoying. And Rashford, I question Rashford's team play. Rashford as a team player, when it comes to like linking up the play, 1-2 pop-offs, all that kind of lovely stuff, I don't think he's got it in his armory. He takes a split 2 second on the ball, too many seconds on the ball. He releases it too late. The ball's usually too hefty, too light. Like there's never just this kind of naturalness to his game. So the performance itself was okay. But I'm not, Copenhagen's a big game tomorrow, and I do expect to win that. But City on Sunday, I don't know, mate.
It's peak for you boys, man. It's peak for you boys. So do you want to hear an interesting stat for this season? I know not everyone's here for the stats, but I think it's quite telling. So in the Premier League, Man United are joint 4th as the most dispossessed team in the Premier League.
And I can believe that. I can believe that this season. It's been terrible. As soon as a team gets the ball off of us and our plays broken, we look so open and
I'm worried. Definitely worried when a team takes the ball off us.
Opens you up, man.
We look open, and let's be honest, this hasn't got to do with like the players that are necessarily available to us as well. We've had Moran. We've had Martinez for a decent bit of the first part of the year. We had Casemiro. There was a few players out, but it wasn't like this big. It wasn't that bad. So the fact that he's got his strongest team and it's still looking a little bit disjointed, I'm a little bit questioning it because you have the likes of the Zerbi, you have the likes of Ange who have come in to their teams and they've made an impact straight away. You see the style, you see what they're trying to do. And I don't know what it is. The players are not grasping what Ten's asking them to do, in my opinion. They're not grasping it. I think there's certain players that are not right for his system. Rashford being one of them. I know he's a talented player. I don't think he's right for what Ten Hag wants.
So why give him a new contract then?
He's a United boy.
But he didn't have to be a United boy, did he? Like when you look at his stats, like this season versus last season, like, and you look at it like per 90, like he's obviously was on significantly better form last year. Like his touches are around about the same, his possession loss is about the same, his conversion rate is like 20% last season. Right now it's like 6%. Shot accuracy 46% last season, 61% this season. Like, what do you think it is? Confidence or just?
Yeah, I know we're in an era of like mental health and that, but like I kind of feel like he hasn't got the mentality like to sustain high level football. He's got the talent, but I don't think he's got the mentality to sustain high level football. High level football requires consistency, and although last year he reacted in a positive way to what was being asked of him, whatever's happened this year, he's gone back to Rashford of 2 or 3 years ago. He's standing on the ball, studs on the ball, stopping play like he's Mbappe, like he can just like he can stop the ball and start it whenever he wants, and it's going to have positive results. And it's just it's awful. I think we have. I think as a club we've done everything in our power to make Marcus Rashford what Marcus Rashford should be. We should be talking about Marcus Rashford in the same bracket as Saka, and we're not. So
remember those conversations? Remember those conversations a couple of years ago?
Yeah. I know you got receipts. I just feel like Rashford is unfortunately to kind of expect consistency from Rashford at the age of 25, 26 now. I think he's had enough years. He's a very experienced young player. And we're not seeing that consistency that we hoped we would have seen.
Yeah, I heard that.
Can I add to that, please?
Go for it.
Before we still need to talk about more to do with Rashford, but I think Rashford is suffering from something I call that guy syndrome. No, it's not even a bad thing. I was talking about this the other day, and it's like, when you've been in in a respective league for so long, and you've been touted, and you've hit certain levels, and you're expected to now be that guy. Mentally, it's more put the football side, put that aside. It's about drumming this to actually keep you there. How can you tell yourself, I need to do this game after game after game, season after season after season? Sometimes certain people just don't have the mental capacity for it, because it's it's like when when you're at work and you just have to deliver in the boardroom. Do you know what I'm saying? You got to hit your targets. Sometimes, you're up late and you're thinking, right, I might not be able to do it tomorrow. Do you know what I'm saying? That's it. That's it with Rashford. He, unfortunately, as you said, Jay, 26. You need to. I mean, as you're starting to hit your prime, you want a bit of consistency. You want to be able to hit at least 10 to 15 goals a season. GA maybe 20, 25, and you can't be looking around for excuses, because when you've got a young Argentinian who's coming in, who's hungry, I don't know about, my brother calls him 25, and I can't remember Anthony's number. He doesn't actually call them by their names. He calls them by their numbers because they're not relevant. But he's not. He should be United's talisman, but he's not. And unfortunately, being that, you have to have big shoulders, because regardless if Man United or where they are, it's Manchester United. It's as simple as that. And it's either you're ready to carry that big. It's either you got the big shoulders or you haven't. And for me, Rashford, mentally, I don't think he's got the capacity to be that guy. I don't think he has. He's all right being complacent and maybe having the odd good game and scoring the good goal here and there. But to say to himself, I'm going to be that guy this week. We're playing Manchester City. Get me the ball. I'm going to make sure it hits to the back of the net. I don't think he's got that. And I don't think you can develop that either. It's either you got it or you haven't.
Yeah, just to quickly elaborate on that before AC goes. The thing with Rashford last season, he was plugged in. You could see the determination. After a lot of the games that he scored in, his post-match interviews were very just, another day. Take it off. I'm going to the next game. That focus was there. And I don't know what's gone on. I don't know. I don't know what these players go through in their lives. They're human beings like all of us. So I assume they go through stuff that, we're not privy to. But again, the football side of it is taking a hit. And I know he didn't necessarily get a lot of pre-season, but at the same time, a player of his age, his level, the level he's played at for all these years, and I can't say I've seen a trajectory that I'm absolutely happy with. I can't say I've seen a trajectory from him in his career, in the way he is as a footballer. He hasn't developed much, really. Like, he's doing the things he's done 2 years ago.
I see.
To be honest, from watching United this season, I think everyone United lacked confidence, from goalkeeper up onto the strikers. in terms of there's just a lack of confidence, and I feel that sort of affects Rashford's game. I do still think, I've still got faith in him. I do still think that the goals will come because he's still getting positions to take shots. So he's still obviously having chances to take shots at keepers, but it's just the goals are not coming. Like compared to like last season where anything he touched, this was the second half of the season where goals were coming in. So I'll be more worried if Rashford was not getting shots or getting chances. He is getting chances. He's just not betting the chances from what I've seen anyway. And I think that's a confidence issue, and I think that's a mental issue. But then again, I do agree with the guys when they mentioned that obviously as a top level player, consistency is key. And at this moment in time, he lacks consistency in the season. But there's still a long way to go. So I'm forever an optimist that he might still pick it up, and hopefully the sooner the better, really. So we can have a different conversation about Rashford rather than is he going to get any to how many is he going to get. But I do still think most of Rashford's game right now is in his head. It's the battle in his head in relation to scoring the goals, because I still feel he gets in the positions, he still dribbles on the left. Yes, I agree. Sometimes you think, why don't you just lay it off rather than just taking a shot, or maybe doing a quick 1-2, because we all know what he's going to do now. It seems like a bit like Anthony sometimes, where he just cuts into the right, and we all know he's trying to get a shot off when he cuts into the right, or he doesn't seem to have a plan B like Anthony. And Anthony obviously on the left, we all know what he's going to do. If he can't take a shot off, he's going to pass it, and he's not going to. Anthony doesn't take enough risks in terms of like crossing the ball or beating a man where we know he's got that in his locker. Instead, he decides to take a shot when perhaps maybe he could do something else different. But again, I think that all goes down to confidence. Our team lacks confidence. Like we have zero confidence, and I feel that we need to start feeding our striker more Højlund, because he makes some good runs.
Yeah,
I just feel like no one's seeing him, or no one's seeing the runs he's making.
You don't have any creative players. If you look at Anthony, you look at Rashford, they all want to do the same thing. You look at Garnacho, all want to do the same thing. They want to cut in and take a shot. Fernandes is probably the only player that probably looks for a player, but at the same time, he's always trying to get your shot off as well. So you're missing that real creative player that actually wants to feed the strikers. Eriksen's too far deep. I mean, Mason Mount is probably your best bet. But, I mean, if you're relying on Mason Mount,
why did we buy him, man?
I'm glad you bought him.
And I said this earlier about our wingers. Our wingers play for themselves. They don't play for the team. You can see it. Like, that's why the decision making in the final third is so off.
Yeah, it is. It is. Do you remember the last game where who missed out the chance when it was like a 3-on-1, like in the last minute in the Sheffield United game? Who missed that chance when they could have just squared it off? I forgot who missed that big sitter because of the decision making. The game was poor. So I feel we're all right up until the final third when we're attacking. By the way, we're shit defensively, but when we're attacking, we're all right to the final third. Then we just seem to make the wrong decision at the wrong time, and that's like fine margins between first place and 10th place. Just decision making at the final third is crucial in this game, especially in the Premier League, when you may not even get another chance for another 15-20 minutes.
You play Man City at the right time anyway, so because they're not in the bestest of form. So let's see. But senior citizen, let's move on to Arsenal. So the question is, are goalkeepers being expected to do too much with this new playing out from the back? So is Arteta tinkering?
First and foremost, I need to apologize to you. I was meant to be at your house on Saturday, but things got moved over, so apologies about that. Again, I think this new wave of coaching is it's unnecessary, because if the goalkeeper was an outfield player, then he would have been an outfield player. He wouldn't be a goalkeeper. It's just I know this whole thing of playing out from the back, continuity, but at the end of the day, a goalkeeper needs to do his number one job, and that is being a goalkeeper.
Make saves,
Keep the ball out of the back of the net. Don't overcomplicate players' games. Okay. Now,
if he can do that, and would you want him to also still make those passes out from the back, start those plays?
No, you see, okay. Clearly, he knows his player. David Raya, Aaron Ramsdale, and that's fine. But I think the goalkeeper, in your head, if you're truly not comfortable with what you are being asked to do, then at the end of the day, you need to play to your player's strengths. Okay? So even if it's a thing of where the ball's coming and you knock it down the channels, then you might have to set up the team to win it higher. Do you understand? But I think keepers are being it's too much. It's over exaggerated. And the thing is, if it was just one goalkeeper, then you can understand. But you're seeing it with a lot now. You're seeing it with Andre Onana. You're seeing it. You saw it with Sanchez. You're seeing it with David Raya. You're seeing it a lot now. And it's like, he's a goalkeeper. He has to do his job first. If you can implement parts of the passing game, but it's like, first and foremost, it's even when it comes down to things like when it's the goal kick, the central defender is passing it back to the keeper, and then they split, and then they're playing out.
Well, that's create overloads, though. That's create overloads.
And I get that. That's fine. But again, if you have a target man, or the end of the game, you need to get down to the other end of the pitch. That's fine. I fully get it. But in terms of this new idea of playing out, I think it is overcomplicating it for certain teams, because now you're gonna see it as teams are now, like, even with on Sunday, the way Raya was getting pressed from the time that City game when Alvarez pressed him, it's relentless now. Everyone's just going to be pressing him. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think if you see Sanchez at Brighton, the times where he's given goals away is where he's made a goalkeeping error. You're the stats man. Check it.
I mean, I don't rate Sanchez, if I'm honest here, but okay. So interesting points here about goalkeepers need to be goalkeepers first. Yeah. Now, when you look at the whole Ramsdale David Raya thing, again, we're going to bring some stats out, because when we look at last season, David Raya was actually the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. Look at passes; he was number one for passes.
Okay.
Look at he wasn't number one for clean sheets. Obviously, David De Gea was, but he was number 5. He was he had 2 less clean sheets than Aaron Ramsdale. Ramsdale had 14. He had 12.
Okay.
He was number 1 for saves.
Yeah.
Significantly more than Aaron Ramsdale. So statistically, he actually was probably the best goalkeeper in the Premier League last season. So you see why Arteta's gone for him, because I've gone, this goalkeeper can do what goalkeepers do. He can make saves. He's good at clean sheets. And he can do what I want him to do, which is make those passes, which start those attacks. So you can understand why he's done what he's done. And it just looks like right now, David Raya is just suffering from a little bit of confidence.
What, for being at a big club?
Maybe the big club thing. But it might be also the controversy around the fact that when Arteta's brought him in, it's like you looked at it and you think there was no need to take out Ramsdale. Ramsdale probably saved you guys a lot of points last season, and you wonder why he was taken out. And then Arteta's talking about, I'm going to have 2 goalkeepers. There's no reason why they can't both fight for the position. But it's quite clear he thinks David Raya is much better than Ramsdale. That's his number 1 goalkeeper. So maybe he's suffering from a lot of the talk around the issue, and he's been put into a spotlight, and it's kind of really affecting him.
That's what we're just talking about.
Yeah, man, it's mentality. That's the difference.
It's just, are you ready to be number 1? Yes or no? Like, there's no here. We're not here for sentiment. We're not here because you're battling. What are you scared to? You're scared to fight? Like, what's going on here? Because you were at Brentford and you were comfortable. Man,
no pressure in it. The pressure's different.
Yeah. I say this a lot in football. I don't see none of that competitiveness between players and there's no more. It's like, oh, I deserve to be in the team because X, Y, Z. Look, like, to get to the top, yeah. Look at what Pep's done for years with his team. Look at the squad depth that he's had, right? To get to the top, especially in modern day football where they're playing the most games they've ever played, you need your squad to be deep. And when I saw Arteta bought Ray, I thought that was a move. I said, that's a move, because Ramsdale, no, he hasn't done anything wrong. And I think he kind of done him dirty a little bit. I ain't going to lie.
Yeah, I think he did a bit dirty.
I will say it is bold. It is direct from your manager to turn around and say, well, good ain't good enough. And that's what I rate. Because don't get it twisted, Ramsdale made a few mistakes in towards the end of last season.
He did.
He did make some mistakes. And if you ask me, I would have said David Raya was the better keeper anyway. I feel like he's the better keeper. Now, yeah, I feel like Bally said earlier about adaptation and all that. Yeah, I think it is a big club thing. I do think it's a big club thing. There's a lot of expectation on Raya, and maybe he's never felt that type of pressure before. But this is all a part of it. You've got to link in and do it. And he's made a few decent saves actually. I know he's made some mistakes, but it's the same thing with Onana with us. Like he needs to step up. End of story. He needs to step up. He's at big Man United now. Like,
he talks.
You know, just going, Mike. Just going back to that question, whether you remember what Jay answered. Our goalkeepers has to do too much.
Yeah.
Now, I do agree with Jay in terms of first and foremost, what's your job as a goalkeeper? Stop balls going in. Now, Onana's a good example compared to David De Gea. He's let some silly goals in trying to save shots. So the question is, did we buy him because of his footwork? Okay, but look at how shit he's been in trying to save shots. How many goals has he let in? Because he's not that good at saving shots. I reckon De Gea would have saved some of the shots that they've obviously taken past him. So and then keepers need to find the right balance. And right now, it looks like Onana is too much of a better outfield player, but saving shots what he's actually paid to do.
Yeah,
that's a problem. So I think Onana is just an example of whereby you need a good shot stopper first and foremost. Then you can now work on the others in terms of you're good on the ball. But first and foremost, you need to learn how to save a shot for fuck's sake. Because if you can't, fucking out.
Do you not think that at this level, like if you think about it, for you to get to this level as a goalkeeper, you should have a base level of being able to save stops and save shots. Like you think about it as like all football players, you have to have a certain technical ability for you to be able to make it to this level. I.e., someone pings a ball at you, you can control it. You can control it, bring it down, move it on. A goalkeeper should be able to make saves.
Yeah.
Make saves, come up, claim the ball, maybe save a penalty here and there. The difference between goalkeepers that can actually make the saves, like the saves that you see, like the save that Ederson made in the Champions League final last year. Those are the saves that are difference between the top goalkeepers and the goalkeepers that are just decent.
Yeah.
Like for me, Ederson's the best goalkeeper in the world because I think he does everything very good, and I don't think I've ever really seen him make a mistake. He can pass it short, long, it don't matter. Pressure, he can ping it regardless, and he makes great saves. Like I don't think I can think of one time he's made a mistake. Alisson's probably close to number 2, but he's prone for a couple of calamities here and there.
Yeah,
I like Alisson. Go back to the original question of what goalkeepers being expected to do, though. If we look at it, boys. Who's the master of that? Ederson. And who does Ederson play for? Pep. Pep gave birth to that kind of ball.
Yeah.
Valdez is a rubbish keeper. But Valdez didn't concede nothing because he was basically a sweeper and they had the best possession team possibly of all time.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where you got to say, well, the master is the master right here. And anyone else copying this stuff.
Just can't do it.
Can't do it, innit? Like, do you know what I mean?
And he's just a question. Got rid of Joe Hart.
Yeah, just a question then.
Yeah.
Looking back at looking at Pep's teams and just using Onana as an example, do you think the reason why we don't see Ederson making loads of mistakes compared to Onana or the rest of the keepers is because he hardly has jobs to do? Because Pep's always has possession and obviously has 1 or 2 or 3 saves. I don't know. This is the question I put out there.
I object to that because if you go back last season. When they played, was it last season? No, the season before, sorry. Because I remember played Jesus off the left when they played Real Madrid. I think maybe 4 or 5 shots. I think Benzema had 2. And Ederson was on his game that day. Yeah. So in regards to that, I hear what you're saying because they've always got possession, but Ederson is actually a good goalkeeper. Now, I'm going to flip that. There's actually 2 goalkeepers who are not tremendous with their feet, but they do the basics well in terms of keeping the ball out of the back of the net. Yeah, some might object. One is Thibaut Courtois.
Oh yeah, very good.
Yeah,
and another one, people don't actually look at it properly, but when you look at Newcastle play, is Nick Pope.
Nick Pope
is terrible with his feet.
Oh, we saw that with the goal when he tried to head the ball, handball when he came out.
But Nick Pope knows how to. He does the basics as a goalkeeper. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like what you just said with Onana, I think he's probably better than maybe Ederson with his feet. But in terms of just doing the basics, just Even
he's not even here for that, man. He's not even here for that. Like when you're not even here for the saves, I don't care what you do with your feet. But
yeah,
I've always been a big fan of goalkeepers that can play out from the back, because for me, you see it happen in every phase of play. The ball gets to the centre backs, they pass it. They get a bit of pressure, they go back to the goalkeeper, they knock it long, you lose possession. Like it frustrates me more than anything else in the game. So I need my goalkeeper to be able to make a pass. But what I don't want to see is what guys like Edouard Mendy was doing like last season when he thinks he was a bit too slick trying to do like Cruyff turns. I'm like, I don't need to see that. Like sometimes I think the goalkeepers are waiting a little bit too long for them making that pass because they think they're a little bit slick. Maybe it's an intention thing. It's like just pass it to the centre back. He's available. Split the defence. You've got two options. Make the pass. So, but yeah. So I think if we to the question, like our goalkeepers being expected to do too much. Some are. So is Arteta tinkering costing Arsenal then?
If you ask me, I know Citizen, this is really for you, but I don't think it's costing Arsenal, but it feels a little bit over elaborate from where I'm standing. Like Partey right back, what's that about? What's going on? Like I was saying to a mate of mine about your game against Chelsea, right? And I watched the game, very good game. Obviously entertaining. Chelsea dominated, in my opinion. They were to a man, except for Sanchez, they were brilliant. Yeah. However, what I was seeing from Arsenal initially, before they took off Jorginho and put Rice back in his natural position, was Rice getting way further forward and in positions where he was clearly uncomfortable. So, whereas like you would have, the likes of, Xhaka used to be the one on that side, but used to have either Xhaka, Odegaard, someone in that like left side pocket close to goal, and then would pivot once they received the ball or go forward. All you had Rice doing was going back to the byline and passing it back. And it didn't seem like he was very comfortable in that position. So I don't know why he was given that function of box to box. However, when he went back to his natural position, he played really well. And I felt like, I think Arsenal squad is very diverse, more diverse than what Arteta is using it for. Personally, and I know you probably say I'm wrong in saying this, but if I was going to Chelsea, I didn't want to play Havertz next to Rice, Odegaard, and Partey weren't fit. I'll be looking at putting Zinchenko in that left-sided bit, because Zinchenko's good on the ball. He gives you that defensive cover if you ever ain't got the ball, and he can go forward, and he has a hell of a shot on him. And I would have played Tomiyasu left back, because when Tomiyasu came on, that left back was sealed. I know Sterling came off shortly after that, but that left side was sealed when Tomiyasu came.
I think that was more to do with Pochettino's tinkering than actually Tomiyasu doing anything. But to be honest, I think that Pochettino his tactics were just much better than Arteta's. Like Arsenal couldn't get through our midfield. Like you had a block of Caicedo, Enzo, Gallagher, and then you had a front line of Cole Palmer dropping in, and Mudryk was really supporting Cucurella. I think they just couldn't get through. Declan Rice couldn't make the passes. Odegaard hardly had any touches. Like they just couldn't get through our midfield block. So I don't really think it had anything to do with that. And they probably didn't have anyone that could really get through. Like Declan Rice couldn't penetrate the passes. Jorginho was meant to be the guy to make the passes, but I think Jorginho's pretty much past it. So I think Pochettino just put together a really good plan. But what do you think, Susan?
What do you think, Susan?
Chelsea were outstanding. First off, it was weird because they were outstanding, but they didn't trouble Raya, which was a bit weird. I think maybe apart from the penalty, and I think Cole Palmer, a shot went past the post. I think first half there was no shots on target, so there was actually it was proper where you controlled the game. We couldn't. I think we were playing in our half for the best part of 20 minutes. Every time we had the ball, it was like Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko back to the keeper. It was just that they were just the Declan might drop in, but we couldn't get the ball to Odegaard. And even if when we did get the ball to Odegaard, he was on nothing. Again, another game that he bottled. But I think second half something had to give. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you couldn't. There was no way. I think if you had a prolific striker, I think it would have been dead and buried in the first half. The game would have been. It would have probably been about 2-3-0. But I think that was our only saving grace. I think when Jorginho came off and it was more or less Rice at the base with, I think it was Smith Rowe, there was a bit more, and even when it was when Odegaard came off, we looked a better team. Do you get what I'm saying?
But
One thing I don't like
the
Odegaard.
changes, do you think it was because of the changes Arteta made, or was it because we let you back in the game? Like, we were 2-0 up, and then we made all these substitutions, and then we made a calamity. David Raya makes Sanchez makes a calamity. You guys get back into the game. Confidence is on your side.
I think the calamitous chance, no doubt. But then I think with the second goal, I think, you know, Gusto probably was a bit tired. I don't know, mentally he was a bit tired. Mudryk was very defensively. Because he helped out Cucurella a lot in keeping, like, there's time they double teamed Saka, but Noni wasn't switched on. You know, it's like as if he was chasing shadows, and then Saka looked a bit more freer in terms of, and you can see it with the delivery of the goal. Even though you're saying the subs, but at the end of the day, what do you do? You know what I'm saying?
We took off Mudryk, we took off Cole Palmer.
But Mudryk looked tired.
Yeah, but you think about it as a threat in behind, yeah. Also, Cole Palmer, who's literally was a guy that was linking everything together, and then we switched sides for Sterling. We bring up Jackson. Like, we just changed our whole structure. We brought in an extra defender, and we changed our whole system and pretty much got rid of all of our attacking options, and it allowed you guys to have pressure.
I think you lot still look comfortable up until what Sanchez done. Then as soon as he scores that, everything changes.
Everything changes. You guys get momentum.
It caused havoc. Honestly, like, it's like I remember I saw it. Like, I was looking down at my phone, and then I looked up. I saw him pass the ball, and I thought I saw the guy running onto it, and I didn't think he would even get it in. I'll be honest with you, I didn't think he'll get it in. And then he lashed it in.
Man. Trossard is just. I'm a big fan of Trossard. I think
you literally saw the emotional change of Arsenal in that moment.
Yeah. We can win this game now. He almost did, and Nketiah nearly gets the winner.
Yeah, and Nketiah nearly finished it off. So, you know what? I've got to give Arsenal a bit of credit for the character of it all, though, because I know Chelsea was the vehicle in letting them back in, but they didn't. They kept on playing their game throughout the whole game. They kept the possession. They kept on playing their game. They kept on probing.
Can I just touch on the tinkering thing? Yeah. I think him tinkering is going to cost us, but I think this is another step in his. Remember, he's worked off scraps for the best part of 2-3 years. He's now in a wine cellar with expensive taste, with expensive wine. Like, he's tasting. He's not been there before. Not to say
that he's trying to play champagne football with.
Not even that. No. I'm not saying he's trying to play champagne football. I think when you've now got a pool of talent, and you're in the Champions League now, you're in competitions, you've got an array of talent in front of you. You are gonna make mistakes. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? You are gonna you're gonna overthink. Pep's done it. How many times have Pep done it in a final? You're gonna overthink certain things. Do you get what I'm saying? And the sooner he gets it right, the better. But at the same time, I think when he's got someone like a fit Partey, Rice, I think what him buying Havertz has really put a spanner in the works. Because if you ask me in the summer, was he on our list of players? You know, when you have your business meetings and you know your targets and whatnot, was he on our target maybe a year ago? No. He definitely wasn't.
Can you see why he bought him? No. Can you see why he bought him? When you look at what you were needing, and also in terms of cover, can you see why he bought him?
No.
So I actually can, because Havertz just hasn't lived up to what Havertz was supposed to be. Right? You look at your midfield and your attack here. You're looking for a player that can play in an 8 position, a player that can also provide cover in a 9 position, a player who's flexible, versatile, technically very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with
that. Understands the way that Arteta probably thinks how he wants to play football. Has got the big game mentality. Scores a winning goal in the Champions League. Has got Champions League experience. Yeah, that's Kai Havertz. Like, that's Kai Havertz. He just hasn't delivered because he's struggling.
But my thing is with that is that you've bought an attacking player to play as an 8.
He's an attacking player. He's not an 8,
He's
but
not-
no one knows
he's
what,
an
no one
attacking
knows what he
midfielder.
is. No
But
one
he's
knows
not
what
an
he
8.
is.
He's a
And it's,
10, yeah.
and it's funny that he has his best performances has been him playing higher up the pitch, either as a false 9
Yeah.
or just off Jesus.
Second striker, yeah.
For me, he should be playing where someone like Odegaard plays,
Yeah.
but Odegaard on merit is
Yeah.
play and team captain. You can't do that. Do you get what I'm saying?
But if
But for
Odegaard
me-
gets injured or needs to get rested, then who do you put in that place? That's
If
why
who?
you bought Havertz. If Odegaard gets injured
Yeah,
and needs to
yeah,
rest, that's why you
yeah.
bought him, because he can cover the 8, he can cover the 10, and he can cover the 9. How much you pay for him? 65 mil?
I think you can cover more the 10 and the 9. The 8.
I don't think he can. I think he's learning to play the 8. I think he's learning to play the 8. He's got the attributes to play the 8. He's got the attributes. He just hasn't figured out yet.
Havertz has replaced as well. He's replaced Xhaka, who is like, he had his best season for Arsenal that I saw. I thought he was brilliant last season. Definitely within probably your top 5 best players, and he's gritty, but also like he's aggressive. So you're missing you. I kind of agree with Citizen. Like, I can't see Havertz being a replacement for that, and that function was very important.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't think he is. I think he was bought to be a replacement. I just don't think he's doing what he's been asked with him yet. He hasn't delivered yet. If you look at his attributes and why Arteta bought him, you can understand why he bought him.
I'm going to be honest. I think he bought him more so as I think he looks at Jesus and he's like, in big moments, I can't trust you.
Really?
I honestly don't think he's I think he's playing him there because obviously he's an intelligent player. He can get about, maybe he wants to try him. These new wave of coaches, they want to try and revolutionize players and all that stuff, all that rubbish. But for me, I'll be honest, if I was even a big game like tomorrow, it's a big game because we lost our last Champions League game, I would rather Havertz in the 9 than Jesus.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
I think with Havertz, he's almost like a luxury player. I've always looked at Havertz and thought he would be brilliant in Italy. Like, because
it's a bit slower.
The team has to be built around him. It's similar to the way that AC Milan team built around Kaka. It was all for Kaka's benefit that they played like that. And I think Havertz is one of those players. And I think to play him in a system where you need moving parts to know what they're doing, like Pep's teams, like you've got to sacrifice a lot. Look at Bernardo Silva, what he was when they bought him and what Bernardo Silva is now. Like, they're two different players. He's
been the same, man. He's been high quality.
No. Like in level, I'm talking about in terms of what his functions are. Like his functions is in City. He's a team player to the core, and he does the best. Like, so I think the only way the Havertz deal makes sense for me is if Arteta can get him to sacrifice all this individuality that he has in his play and get him to play as a team player more so. I think if he can master that, I think he's got a chance because he is a quality player. He is.
I'm surprised none of you guys have mentioned Eddie. I've just been waiting for you guys to mention Eddie Nketiah. I don't know why you guys are sticking with him up front. I'm surprised that no one's mentioned him.
Talking about Eddie Nketiah, were you upset that you got rid of Bellingham, Citizen?
I was, because I thought he would at least be deserved the chance, but I understand why we got rid of him.
Right, okay.
Not rid, because when you look at how much we've spent, and I know Arsenal are a club that likes to balance. We're not lavish spenders like your Chelseas, like your City. We don't do that. No, not even that kind of picture. We just historically we don't do that. Arsenal like our owner is a penny pincher and he likes to balance the books. Yeah. So we spent about 65 on Havertz, 100 on Dex, 35, 40 on Timber. So we've almost spent 200 mil. And remember, you're forgetting when you sell an academy player, you keep every single penny. So technically it's about balancing the books. Now they've looked at it and they've seen it as well. And Nketiah, the most they can probably get for him is maybe 20. Balogun's had a brilliant season in France and they want 35. It only makes sense. And on top of that, you've given Nketiah a new contract, and Nketiah knows he's the number 2. You get opportunities to play, but he knows he's number 2. So there's no issues there.
Is he a good enough number 2?
Regardless if Jesus goes out for 6 months and comes back, you are number 2. You're getting paid 100. You're number 2. He knows that.
Is he a good enough number 2 though? That's the question.
No. When you look at,
I like him too, but I think he's not. He's not good.
14. I mean,
he's
at that level,
number 14 shirt though.
Yeah, not even that. At the level that we are, he's not, because you look at.
He's an Everton player, him.
Not that bad. Everton a relegation fodder, man. He's more mid-table.
You
Aston Villa. He's Aston Villa level.
AC, you're sly, you know.
He's Aston Villa level.
Yeah,
nah, man. Watkins is better than him.
Villa are good.
Watkins is better than him, man.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's starting for them. I'm not saying he's starting for them.
You check it now, yeah.
West Ham. He should go to West Ham.
I tell you
but check it now, yeah. If you look at a couple of the teams that have a first and a second, like okay, City, Haaland, Alvarez. There's no arguments there. When you look at Newcastle, Wilson and Isak are literally going back and forth every week.
Isak is a bad boy striker.
You know what I'm saying? Who's gonna? I mean, Liverpool. They start with. I mean, I can't. I mean, they got. I mean, what is it? What is it?
Gakpo, Salah.
I'm not really. Yeah, but obviously you look at your wide men, the Diaz and Salah. That's where it's really coming from. But when you look at 1 and 2s, actually, not many people have quality 1 and 2s. But the 2s has to be of standard, especially looking in who's United's second.
Martial.
Holland, this shit too.
That goes to show where they are. Do you know what I'm saying? They haven't even got reliable 1 and 2. So it shows you that your 1, even our 1's not even firing like that. So it's our goals are coming from. I mean, we're lucky that we're getting goals from other areas. But when push comes to shove, I don't think our 1 and 2 are even good enough, let alone just our 2. That's but Jay, you're gonna say something.
Yeah, no, I can't even remember, man. I can't remember. Okay. Cool.
I do agree though that I felt like why did they buy Havertz when they could have probably solved their number 2 situation?
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
You might be waiting. I actually think you guys.
I was a weird buy.
I think they'll be in the market in January for Ivan Toney.
Nah,
you don't think so? I think like
no. I'm just going to give you
muscles.
I'm going to give you a fan hub special.
Oh yeah, go on then. Fabrizio.
Pedro Neto deal's done. It's a done deal.
Here we go.
It's a done deal. Yeah.
Here we go.
The thing what you're hearing a lot about Tony is because Tony's just changed agencies.
And he's trying to get a move though. He must be trying to get a January move.
Of course he wants to move. He's on crap money at Brentford. He's only on 30k a week. You know, if you look at his numbers, that's cheap. Yeah, he's
best striker in Premier League last season behind him, Harry Kane, best English striker behind Harry Kane.
Whether he gets a move, I don't know. I mean,
come on, money back Chelsea, we'll go for him.
I'll swap him for Martial.
Would you take him at Chelsea?
100%.
Yeah, he'd be good. Definitely. Him and Jackson up front have caused mayhem.
Jackson's on the bench, man. Like, I like Jackson, but
I like Jackson too.
You know, it is like for me, I look at Man City and I think Man City are ruthless. Man City don't care. Man City want everything and they'll get all the best players. They got Alvarez who will get into any single team in the Premier League as a starting striker, maybe bar Liverpool. But he's the number 2 to Haaland. They're greedy. I want to be greedy too. Go and give me Ivan Toney. I'll have Ivan Toney start and Jackson and Broja can fight for the scraps. Yeah. I don't care. Yeah. Like, you got to be ruthless. Like,
pack out the squads. Pack out the squad, man.
Simple. Whoever can't make goes on loan.
Yeah, but going back to that, Nketiah now, he's not good enough, and even Jesus, I'm worried. But anyway, yeah,
I like Jesus, man. I think he's high quality, but obviously
he doesn't score enough.
He
just doesn't score enough.
He needs to stay in the box. But isn't Arteta been playing him out to the left, or hasn't he been playing him Nketiah through the middle?
I think because of Jesus. Remember Jesus? You're forgetting Jesus can actually do. Remember when they played Real Madrid and he nothing can go down that left side.
Yeah,
so he can do a job, but you've got the number 9 on your back.
Yeah,
and if you look at stuff like when he robbed the ball off of Maddison against Tottenham, and then he skied it in the 8.
But that goal he scored where he rounded the goalkeeper at Man United, that was first class striking. Like that's a number 9. That's a number 9 goal.
He's definitely got it in him.
Goal, round the goalkeeper.
Got it in him, Jesus. Like, I saw him score that. It's like that header at Liverpool last season when you went 2-0 up. Like,
oh yeah,
poacher goals. Like he's got it.
He's got it. He's got his locker.
It's just weird. I don't know if it's a functionality thing that Arteta asks him to do certain things.
No, it's
but
not.
I think he's a maverick type of player. He's a maverick, and he likes to get involved in all bits of the game.
He
loves doing bits.
Yeah, I need you down there.
That's the issue.
When it comes to that striker being where he needs to be, he ain't there. Sometimes,
because he's too busy doing other bits.
He loves to get involved rather than just stay up front. Because has he scored 20 ever in a season?
Never.
I'm sure he must have.
He's never.
I don't know the answer to the question.
I think he's most is 16. He's most is 16.
Move on to the next topic here, but I'm going to go and reconfirm that why you guys do that, which is Jude Bellingham. Is he all that?
Yeah. Jude goes to the level.
Jude,
bruv. Like, come on, like he must have.
Hmm.
Because you know what? For a player of his age, you got to remember this generation worth of players as well. There's so much distraction for them to not be great footballers. A lot of them lose their talent. He seems like he's really committed himself to his ball from young, and he had the balls to go Dortmund. Remember, he rejected us and he went to Dortmund. Like, he wanted to go and learn his trade. He tore it up over there. And then like he gets the Real Madrid move and he just takes it like it's nothing. And I like that because he's showing that class and that maturity of a very elder player. And he's only 20. Obviously, there's hurdles to come. There are going to be dips, of course. But yeah, he's justifying everything right now. 115 million don't look too bad right now.
Bargain.
Sorry to interrupt you there. Jesus' most was 14 goals in the COVID year. 14.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
back onto Bellingham.
In terms of Bellingham, I think he's a very good player, but I've just got Dele Alli vibes about him.
No way.
Remember Dele Alli?
Mentality difference.
Hopefully he doesn't. He turns out not to be like Dele Alli. But remember, Dele Alli was banging him in when he was in his early 20s.
Yeah, but Dele Alli only did it for Tottenham. We're talking about a guy who's gone to the biggest club in the world, the most pressure you ever get, and say, "Give me the ball."
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's a very good player, and I think he's obviously sky's the limit. But I'm just cautious because of experience, based on the fact that I've seen Dele Alli reach the stars like he has.
You know something, yeah?
So that's
I've seen what AC is coming from, because Dele Alli, his best football, the system was for him. Poch made the system around him, and he benefited from it. The system at Real Madrid, it's more or less it's set up for Bellingham. I don't know if he's kind of playing like a 10 false 9. It's set up for him. The only thing I can say with Bellingham is that,
but Ancelotti's done that so he can incorporate everybody. The truth is that Bellingham was he's not a 10. He's actually an 8. So he incorporated him in the system, but it's actually not really suited for him because he's actually a number 8.
But the only thing I can say that Bellingham has got that Ali hasn't got is that Bellingham's got a good support system around him.
Yeah,
I hope so.
And mentally, he's a lot more stronger than Ali. Ali was just there for the, again, he was quality when he was there, but obviously Poch left and then things just went downhill. But Bellingham, would I say he's the real deal? He's very, very talented. He's enjoying his moment right now. Just like Jay said, there will be moments, and I think we should embrace it, because not many. What were we doing at 16 years old? For us now to go make first team debut and then leave. Imagine, just say you had a work opportunity and at 16 they're selling you to go to another country. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a bit different. So I think he's got big balls, but and I'm supporting him all the way. And I think he is on his way to the real deal. I just don't like to.
I want to hold back a little bit. I want to hold back.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. But the thing is, though, it's like, it don't really matter what we say, because you know how the English media stays, isn't it? Like, if he wasn't an English player, he'd fly under the radar and you could all enjoy him playing football, and you'd like, of course, you'd be like, I love this player. But the minute he's English, the hype comes with it. So no matter what you say, he's going to be in the front page, he's going to be in the back pages. They're going to do a Beckham on him. They're going to do a Rooney on him. He's going to get the hype.
What I would find interesting is if Real signs Mbappe, how would Bellingham's role evolve? Would he
It's actually
still
more
be
Vinicius.
diving into the box, or would he be holding back now? Because he's obviously occupying Mbappe's space to a certain degree if he does go into up front in Real Madrid.
It's more Vinicius Junior that will actually be affected by Mbappe, because
Do you reckon?
they've changed their formation because they don't have a number 9. That's why they're playing the diamond with Bellingham at the top. But normally they play a 4-3-3. But Vinny plays out on left. That's where Mbappe plays. So you actually don't have someone. I don't have a number 9. That's the issue. So Bellingham won't be affected if Mbappe comes. It'll actually be Vinny Junior.
Don't you think they would maybe put Mbappe as the false number 9 in a Real Madrid?
He doesn't want to play through the middle. That was his big issue.
No, but it's interesting you said that, because have you been watching PSG lately?
Have they changed the formation? Because they've got a number 9.
He's been playing through the middle.
He's banging him in.
He's been playing through the middle.
He said it so many times he doesn't like to play there.
But the thing is, it's weird because he's technically the technical director at PSG, and he's getting in all these French boys. I don't know what's going on now, but
get rid of Neymar. You're gone.
I think with Bellingham, I think there's already going to be. I think with this Euros, just going back to what we first said, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on England to win it. Simply because when you've got people like Bellingham having a fantastic season, if Saka has a fantastic season, if Rashford manages to pick it up, Maddison is doing well at Tottenham, if Grealish manages to find these forms, Stones is doing well, Levi Colwell's doing well, Declan Rice, they're putting him as the poster boy.
You didn't even mention Harry Kane. He's actually one of the best.
Harry Kane, if he wins something with him, I think there'll be a lot of pressure on England to actually win the Euros.
Yeah.
Like, I think they'll be front runners, and people are not going to put them to be like contenders. I think they'll be down as, they have to win it. And I think England, this Euros, next World Cup, with the selection of boys coming through, Gareth, if he doesn't win it in this either this Euros or next World Cup, I think you got to look at someone else to try and integrate these.
I hope so, because to me he's wasting a generational talent.
No, that's happened before in the past anyway.
Yeah, but I don't think we've had this crop of players. Like, to me, that generation before the Lampard, Gerrard, I think that generation is overrated if you ask me. But for me, this is actually the most excited I've been over English squad.
Mate, I just think that even with Bellingham, just going back to all our wonder kids, there've been so many wonder kids England have produced. Rooney,
that could play at world level though, because
Rooney came on in his Champions League debut and scored a hat-trick.
Okay, but
when he was 18,
what did Rooney do when he got to the Champions League final against Barcelona?
He scored a goal. I remember the goal he scored when we got battered 3-1 in Wembley.
To be fair, he was the best Man United player on the pitch that day, but I'm
not trying to say that Bellingham's not going to be great, but I'm just trying to say that we need to just rein it in a little bit, because we have given so many wonder kids so much hype before, and they've not met that expectation of our hype. I can name at least two.
I think it's different. How many players have we had that have played at the highest level? We are like, you don't get higher than Real Madrid. There is nothing higher than that.
You got to throw Phil Foden up there.
I think for me, Phil Foden is for me,
treble, Man City.
Even with that, even with what he's won, as Phil Foden really has he really.
To me, Gareth Southgate's the issue. Gareth Southgate is not getting the best out of Foden.
No, but even Foden at City, is Foden the man?
For me,
it's De Bruyne, isn't it, or Haaland?
He is. Pep uses him in such a way that it's very interesting the way he uses him. So, for example, Kevin De Bruyne gets injured beginning of the season. I think this is Foden's chance. This is Foden's chance to be the man, the prime creator. He converts Julian Alvarez into some. And we all know he's a bad boy, but we didn't know he could put it together like this. And this is what I'm saying. This is why Pep is probably the greatest for me, because you think about it. He won a treble with John Stones in the midfield. He loaned out João Cancelo, possibly the best fullback in world football, one of the best, mid-season, and still won a bloody treble. That's why Pep is on his own stuff, bro. He's on his own. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. But I don't know what the issue is with Phil Foden, but
I think he's got a little something against him. Because, like, did you see Phil Foden mention about what Pep did to him? How Pep called him out. Pep made a mistake, and he was screaming at him, shouted at him in front of everyone, and he went up to him and he was like, "Don't ever talk to me like that again. Like, I don't see you do that to Bernardo Silva. I don't see you do that to Kevin De Bruyne. Don't talk to me like that." And then Pep was like, "Well done. Yes, you speak up for yourself. I like that." But man, we've been in the team since then, properly though. So I'm questioning it a little bit, because to me, Phil Foden's earned his right to be a regular starter in that team.
It's weird because I could see Phil Foden at somewhere like Liverpool, actually, and I think they truly like play him into his strengths, especially under Klopp and all that. But yeah, no, Phil Foden, he's kind of undervalued in both squads. England squad.
I'd love to have Phil Foden in my team.
He's a great player.
One of my favorite players.
God, you want him as well?
Yeah,
taking everybody.
Listen, mate, I can get rid of a lot of players. Don't worry about it. We got surplus at Chelsea. I'll make space for him, man. Phil Foden to me. Phil Foden and Cole Palmer. Quality.
Can I ask a question? Is Cole Palmer your penalty taker, your PK taker? Because that was a situation I just didn't understand why Sterling would do that.
So Sterling previously was our penalty taker, but then Palmer started taking penalties. So
didn't Sterling get the memo, or was he just trying to bully Cole Palmer? I
think there was a little bit of that going on, but I don't want Sterling taking my penalties.
Because I was speaking to my friends about that when I was watching the game. I just don't understand, if there's a memo and there's an information told everyone Cole Palmer's number one, well, then why the hell would Sterling try and get the ball off him and try and take it?
Trying to pull rank on him, isn't it?
I don't know. Anyway, I'm glad that
Sterling said he wants to be top goal scorer for Chelsea this season, so I think he's just trying to pull rank and get his goals up. But I don't.
That's a bit cheeky from Sterling then to do such a thing.
I prefer my striker taking my penalties personally. So if Jackson's playing, I'd rather him take them. But I don't want Sterling taking penalties. He doesn't hit the ball cleanly.
I understand. I'm sorry about that. I just thought I was just scratching my head. I was thinking, why is he trying to get the ball off him if he's the number one PK anyway? And probably the coaches told everyone before the match, this is my number 1, 2, and 3, and Sterling goes, F that. So
give me the ball. It's normally by whoever does the scores most goals in training. Like they do the finishing drills, and whoever finishes number 1 is a penalty taker.
All right.
Yeah. So normally whoever that is, he's number 1. That's why Saka was number 1 for Arsenal, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just shocked to see that sort of argument come up when it's probably in paper and writing saying, Cole, you're number 1, and all of a sudden Sterling's trying to get the ball off him. I was thinking, what a weird thing.
I don't like to see it happen. I think it should be clear. Like, you remember when you probably don't remember this, but when Drogba only needed 1 goal to win the Golden Boot, and we were like 2-1 up or 3-1 up against Wigan, I think it was, final day of the Premier League season. Lampard's already bagged 2 goals, and he doesn't give the ball to Drogba's like, let me take it. And he's like, no, I'm the penalty taker. It's my job to score the penalties. So business first.
He's probably Lampard's probably on a hat-trick bonus.
He wasn't a hat-trick bonus, probably. Lamps, man. So yeah, boys, final thoughts
on
your teams.
It's shit. Final thoughts are basically, I think we just need to sort out our formation. There's something deeply, I don't even think it's the players, it's just the system is shit. Our system, once we lose the ball in any area of the pitch, we just look vulnerable. We don't look tight enough. Our keeper just needs some sort of training on how to save. Maybe the guy needs to come in and give him some training on how to save shots. What I would give him credit for is that because of his ability to play, because of his ability on the ball, teams are not pressing our keepers as much as they used to press De Gea. So we have a little bit more time to breathe at the back, but that doesn't necessarily change things up front because we're still not scoring. But on the flip side of things, he's not saving shots, so he's not doing what he's actually paid to do, save shots. Hopefully, they start looking at Højlund and he starts scoring because he hasn't scored a goal yet in the Prem, which is, I'm slightly worried about that situation as well. And as Jay said before, our wingers are just playing for themselves and we're losing the ball too much, as obviously as you saw with the stats, we're losing the ball. And I don't think we really played well against any teams, and our away record is shit. And our home record is shit. So hopefully things get better. Honestly,
home record.
Our home record is shit.
Home and away record is rubbish.
But I'm just being optimistic. Hopefully we get better, but Can't see it. I don't. Even if you buy a player, it's not going to change it because it's the system. Our system is just not good enough. So no matter who you buy, even we can make great players look shit. For example, Sancho was good for Dortmund. We brought him in, and he looks bang average. So is it him or is it a system? I don't know. But for now, from the outside looking in, it looks like it's the system, which is not suiting everyone.
Can I just say two things, yeah? And maybe you can disagree with me. First thing, historically, whoever United buy, you don't make them better.
I agree. For a while, yeah. For a while.
Other than Ronaldo.
For a while.
Well, Ronaldo was. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, even when you bought Di Maria, you made Di Maria look shit.
Yeah.
Like historically, you don't make players better unless they come through the academy. But players you buy, you don't make them better.
Yeah.
Like what? Is this Sancho's third season? Third season?
Third season.
I don't know. Casemiro looks dog shit now. I don't know.
Your face is like Jay's like.
I'm just asking.
He's trying to find a player, isn't it?
Yeah, no, like I agree. I look at the players we've brought in over time, and these are all top quality players. We've had about a good 3 or 4 regimes since Ferguson now, and all this idea of we're United, we're going to get back. It's faded a long time ago for me anyway. We don't when we bring in the players, they don't get better. If anything, they digress a lot of the time. Yeah. We've got the players. I've never looked at our 11 most of the time anyway and thought, oh my God, like we're in dire straits. It's just whether they're going to turn up. It's whether they're being coached. And my whole thing with when Ollie was there is that a lot of these players weren't being coached, but now we've got a proper coach. And the fact these players are not really pushing on, I don't know.
And Ten Hag. You think Ten Hag's the issue?
That's what my second question was going to be. Yeah, is
do
the players believe in Ten Hag?
Right, I believe in Ten Hag. I believe in him. I do. I think he's a real coach. I think he's a real disciplinarian, which a club like ours need.
Okay, before you carry on there, and the reason why I ask that is because he gives me school teacher vibes. What Arteta was in his tenure, beginning of, like telling play, like it's like you're telling me what to do. Like the big guys like the Aubameyangs and the Lacazettes and all that. He was given real school teacher vibes. Again, maybe he needs his own crop of players to say, all right, cool, this is how it's gonna go. But that's why I said that. But because discipline, I mean, he was more on the discipline than the coaching. That we're talking about Ten Hag now. But yeah, go on, Jay.
I feel as though he is a very good coach, very talented young coach in the world of football. He's had good experience at a big club like Ajax. I know obviously they're more of a mid-90s team who won Champions League, but however, they're still a big club in Holland. I do feel as though just because I am feeling like, well, he's assembled some really good players here. And he's brought in a lot of them players like Martinez, Amrabat, what's his name? Anthony. A lot of these players are his players.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, well...
Did he buy Casemiro?
Yep.
Yeah, he did buy Cassie. I am sitting there a little bit and I'm like, well, where is this going? Because, again, against Sheffield, when United, and also in all of the games, like AC said, I haven't seen one performance this season that I could say that, yeah, we looked absolutely brilliant. We've looked good at times, but we haven't looked brilliant. We've got through games by the skin of our teeth. Wolves, first game of the season, couldn't believe that game, the way that went. That was horrible to watch. And then the manager's also coming out and saying stuff like, we're showing character, we're doing this, we're doing that. And I'm like, are we? So, for me, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know where we're at.
Squad. This is his squad, though. Like, if you think about the signings, he's literally bought a spine.
That's my thing, and that's what's scary about it. Like, it's us. He's got a lot of these players wouldn't have been on our radar if it weren't for Ten Hag, Malacia, Anana. Anthony, as I say, Martinez. We definitely would have had Martinez if it weren't for Ten Hag. And it's kind of like, well, he's got his players now. Why are we still not looking in his image?
Talent ID, man. Talent ID.
No, sorry to cut this up. I'm just watching the
Spurs.
Tottenham Fulham game.
Yeah, what score's that?
Tottenham have just scored, and they've just scored by Leno playing out from the back, and they've been dispossessed. Again, it doesn't have to be that hard, but anyway, that's fine. You'll see it when you see it on Sky Sports. Unbelievable, bro. But yeah. My team, can I talk about, you want to talk about your
Go.
I think we'll push City all the way. I don't see us winning it. I think what's going to let us down again is the striker issue. I don't see Havertz, I don't see Nketiah, and I don't see Jesus getting past 15 goals. When you look at Haaland will score 30 just by himself, and then Alvarez will add another 10 to 15. Then, do you know what I'm saying? So I think we're going to fall short there. I think the tinkering, if it's not assessed by, if he doesn't know who his Prem team and his European team is by January, I think we could be in trouble. We've already had a scare with Saka. Luckily, we had the international break to rectify that, but that just goes to show that the game overload that he's getting, especially with the champ, he came back after having a hamstring, a tight hamstring. He was off for 2 weeks, thank God for the international break, like I said, and he played the whole 90 minutes. So already he's just showing that that's his main man, and I think we need cover. So hopefully that Pedro deal can go through. I think we'll push them all the way. I think it'll be another goodish season, but I don't think we're gonna win it. But I think it will be another learning curve for Arteta in his managerial tenure. In regards to I think I like the direction we're going in. I do like Rice. I didn't think I like him this much so early, but I like what he gives us.
Do you think you would you class a successful season without a trophy this season?
No, we need something. We definitely need something, even if it's like the EFL Cup, even if it's the FA Cup, Champions League. I think it's anyone on their day. I look at all the teams. And maybe Bar City. I don't look at a team and say, "Damn, they're front right." Even Real Madrid, as good as they are with Bellingham, I look at the midfield in regards to like the Chumene and they don't scare me. I'm not scared yet. I mean, they're good players, but I'm not scared yet. I look at Bayern's team. Yes, they've got Kane, but them as a team don't scare me. Barcelona don't scare me. I don't look at no ones that I think PSG definitely don't scare me, even though obviously they've got great attacks. But when I look at the overall team, not many teams scare me but City. Do you know what I'm saying? So, when I look at that, but again, I think going back to what you said, AC, I think a trophy needs to FA Cup, EFL. We need one of them just to say, all right, cool. He spent money, and it's the mentality of okay, we're winning trophies. Because if you look at the likes of Chelsea, I mean, when you look at Abramovich's reign, 19 years, 19 trophies, it's like a mentality. You have to win something. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just having that continuity of that winning mentality. You win. Doesn't matter what it is. City, how many times have they won in the EFL Cup?
You
might as well call it the City Cup. It's their cup. Do you know what I'm saying? So
we just borrowed it last season.
Yeah, I think we do need a trophy at the very least. But that's on Arsenal.
It's Chelsea as well. When you mentioned Abramovich, do you find it strange that since he's left, you guys are struggling? It's not even the manager; it's actually the owner who's left, and Chelsea is struggling. It's a strange thing.
It's not strange. It's a top-down thing. Abramovich breeds winning mentality. You knew that if you are not here to win, you'll be gone.
Yeah,
the manager, the players, he created a culture that nothing but winning is acceptable. You look at what happened last season, the calamities that went on. First of all, Tuchel wouldn't have been fired. Second of all, there's no way we would have hired Graham Potter because he's not a winner. Third of all, they never would have brought Lampard in to replace Graham Potter. They never would have brought in They never would have hired. You never would have hired Pochettino because he's not a winner. Like that comes from the top down. Abramovich is a winner. He only hires winners. So just generally talking about Chelsea now, anyway, because it's my turn. I'm not happy with what I'm seeing. 12 points from a possible 27 points. I think the squad. I don't think Pochettino's getting the best out of the squad. I think he's infected us with his Tottenham loser mentality. And I don't think he's a winner. I don't think he's a winner. I think he talks a good game, but he's not a winner. I think there's something seriously going wrong in our club in terms of medical, because there's 7 players that are currently out injured, and we keep on having players get injured. There's something not quite right. Ever since they basically got rid of all of the medical staff, Bowley brought in a whole new medical staff, and now everyone keeps on getting injured.
You should bring that girl back in that Mourinho said something crazy to.
Eva.
Yeah.
Would you not also say, that Bowley has shown a bit of Abramovich, but it's more down to your recruitment? Because if you think about it, the checkbook has been there, but
the money's there, man.
But the money's there, but the recruitment hasn't been.
Let me ask you, okay, but he also determines the recruitment policy in line with the recruitment structure, because we have a policy which is we don't buy players that are over a certain age. Like we're trying to do the Liverpool thing so that's why we didn't buy Madsen, 40 million. That would have been a perfect creator. We decided that we only want to buy young players. Why have we not gone out and bought a proper striker? Look at Chelsea's squad, and say, is that £1 billion squad?
Yeah, I say it all the time, Bally.
That's not £1 billion squad.
I'd say 1 billion.
Yeah, but can you explain to me? Yeah, can you explain to me, because that structure there, that sounds like a Brighton, that sounds like an Arsenal, that sounds like a Tottenham by young. What are you guys doing? Are you trying to develop and sell? Are you now becoming a development team?
That's my point. Is that when you actually look at what we're doing, I do not believe Bowley is here to win. I believe Bowley is here for a business. He's about trying to increase the value of Chelsea, buy young players, sell them off, be competitive, but he's not here to win at all costs. Because do you think if Abramovich spent £1 billion, we wouldn't be top of the league with the best players in the world?
Yeah.
Do you not think Mbappe would be at Chelsea if Abramovich spent £1 billion?
Yeah.
Like, we're not buying all these players that have not proven anything. We're buying top world-class players, and we definitely ain't gonna have Sanchez in goal. That's for sure.
And what's scary about the money that's being spent on the type of players you're buying is that we all know there's no guarantees in football. People say there's an investment being made by the 2030 regime, and the fact you want to buy young and then develop on long-term contracts. But we know football changes tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the thing is, we're never going to lose the money on it, though. When you're spending 25 to 30 million pounds on a player and you amortize it over an 8-year contract, even if you loan that player out for 4 years, you're going to make your money. If you sell the player at the end of the contract for 10 million, you made your money. So the truth is that we're not losing anything. We're not really going to lose any money.
From a footballing standpoint, my point is that, like, okay, let's say these players don't work out in 2 to 3 years. Let's say you're still doing what you're doing kind of now, a bit Jekyll and Hyde, like us, a little bit. Like, is the regime to say start again, or is the regime to say pursue, continue with the players because we've invested in them, we've given them the long-term security? Like, I don't understand how that would play out.
But remember, we've also bought a club in France, so we'll loan them out there, innit? We'll loan them out there, get a couple of good seasons out of them. They increase their value. We sell them for 20 million. Like, we've not bought players yet. We've not taken risks on too many players. Like, the most we spent, like someone like Caicedo, Enzo, Mudryk, these are the only players we really splashed out big cash on, where you can say, okay, that's a risk. And we went for it because the truth is that Caicedo is a top player. You can see the ability in Mudryk. The truth is that Mudryk doesn't work out in 3 years. We'll sell him for what, 20 million? Okay, it's not a big deal. So to me, they've not really made any risks. There's no big risks here. Like, my worry is that they don't want to be competitive, because for me, I'll say it again, 12 points out of a possible 27 points is unacceptable. Unacceptable. And for me, where we're languishing mid-table, it's poor. When I look at what Emery's getting done with Aston Villa for less, I'm looking at Brighton, De Zerbi for less. I mean, how is Palace above us in the league? Like, we're same levels then. But to me, it's unacceptable what I'm seeing with Pochettino. Like I said, Spurs mentality, man.
But it's funny you said about I know we got to wrap this up. I know you said about him not wanting to buy Maddison because of age, but They bought Sterling, and Sterling's older.
Yeah, but Sterling was because of Tuchel. Tuchel put pressure on him right at the beginning. He was like, I need players of experience, and he told him who he wanted. And he was like, you're not gonna like Tuchel never accepted like a bunch of young players, and this is why it never really worked out. Tuchel, because his view is like, I'm not here to try to build a team of young people trying to win right now, so I need players of experience, and that's why you saw the kind of players that Tuchel wanted to bring in. You look at the defender we bought, I forget his name now, the guy we bought from Napoli. What's his name when you went to Saudi Arabia?
Which one? The black guy?
Koulibaly.
Yeah, Koulibaly. That's it. Koulibaly. Yeah. So I mean, like Tuchel wanted players of experience. These guys want to buy young players.
Well, Real Madrid are doing the same thing, and they're obviously doing a little bit better than Chelsea.
Yeah, but Real Madrid are buying established young players.
Exactly. Like we're talking about players that are like golden boys. Top 10 golden boys. Like these. Yeah. For the next 10 years.
I thought Modric was meant to be the Neymar. Was he not the golden boy? No.
Yeah, but Modric, they've extended Modric and Cruz to blood in to give.
True, Camavinga are struggling.
I noticed. AC sending because you saw the smirk on his face as soon as he said.
Wind up. Wind up. But gents,
I'm gonna.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
let's call it a night, gents. But that was a good one.
All right, quickly, AC. What were we saying for Sunday, man?
What?
L's, man, L's.
I think it's bad news. I don't. It's just it's what's. We're gonna lose. I'll be happy with a point now. Take a point now. That's just my mentality right now.
I would as well. The fact we're going to either have Maguire, Evans, or Lindelof back there is just murder, isn't it? So, boy, if we get out with a draw, we'll be lucky. Put it like that. I'm having a bad day and us having quite a good day. So.
Yes. Even 1-0. If they beat us 1-0, I might go, it's okay. But draw, take a draw now, man.
It could be embarrassing for you boys.
So, yes, it tends to be against City.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not going to be a good Sunday.
All right, lads. Have a lovely week.